Good evening. This is Straight Talk with Eugene Chan. Our guest this evening is someone who needs no introduction, Miss Maria Tam. Miss Tam is recognized as one of the most prominent figures in Hong Kong's community and political spheres. At one time, she was a member of all 4 different levels of representative councils, meaning the Executive Council, Legislative Council, Urban Council, and District Council. She has served on numerous government committees, both when Hong Kong was a colony and after our return to the motherland. Of note, she was a member of the Hong Kong Basic Law Drafting Committee and became convener of the National People's Congress Hong Kong's delegation. She was recognized by the British government as a commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire and awarded with the highest honor of a Hong Kong government, the Grand Bohemian Medal. This evening, we have invited her to talk to us about what the prospects are like for Hong Kong's long-term development. Are there any real concerns? Welcome, Maria.
Thank you, Eugene. That was a long introduction. I'm your friend. That's the main thing.
Thank you very much for coming. I'm very pleased that we have you on the show today. I know you have retired from your active role in the political circle.
I'm happily retired.
But I'm sure people in Hong Kong will still miss a lot of your good comments. You have played an integral role in the shaping of Hong Kong and seen Hong Kong through its many ups and downs in the last few decades, and from a British colony to now return up to a part of our mainland.
Yes.
At the moment, we seem to be facing more than a fair share of our challenges, namely after the social unrest, then the pandemic, then now post-COVID economic and labour challenges, and to top it off, geopolitical tensions. All big terms I've used. So what is your take on all this, and are there any real concerns for Hong Kong's long-term development?
I think Hong Kong is a land of opportunities, but opportunities always available only to those who are ready to take it and reap the benefit. As you see, China is opening up, and it hasn't slowed down whatsoever in spite of all the sanctions. The socialistic economy in the mainland has grown from just primary industry, manufacturing, secondary industry, and now moving firmly and steadily into not only the third sector economy, but also innovation and technology. It's got a complete supply chain, you know, from farming produce, raw material, mines, all the way to sending astronauts up the moon. So what happened is that because of the socialistic system, they were able to concentrate resources and attentions and energy into developing the framework that would make small industry, farmers, ordinary people raise themselves from poverty, and also education, medical services, everything improving a great deal in the last 40 years that I could see. At the same time, Hong Kong is still very strong as a financial center. As you know, for the next 5 years, in the 14th five-years plan, we are ordained to be the international shipping, trading, cultural exchange center, IP, intellectual property right trading center, aviation hub, exchange center for culture, West and East, and also the hub for Asia-Pacific legal services and dispute resolution. At the same time, we have RCEP. We're already in WTO. We have the Belt and Road Initiative. And at the same time, also, we have the GBA next to us. There's plenty of opportunity for those who are prepared to go and join all these adventures, which also would be part of the challenges we're facing. And at the end of the day, knowing how consistently the Chinese 5-year plans have been producing results. And as long as Hong Kong can join and go along with it, and at the same time make sure that our international connection is operating well. As you know, in the past, we are more familiar with dealing with the Five Eyes. And now the Five Eyes are giving us hostile looks. So we have to open up new areas for
Right.
trade and financial and all the three sectors, economy exchanges, with the rest of the world. So the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative, would be very helpful.
Right. Maria, I must say this last 5 minutes of narrative actually has summed up what the opportunities we have
Yes.
because of mainland's development. And the main point that you have said is if Hong Kong people are prepared,
Yes.
take advantage of that,
Yeah.
we have a good future.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Since you mentioned about the Five Eyes, I mean, I'm sure viewers want to have great exchanges at Straight Talk. This is the reason why we like to invite you here to come here. I mean, I must quote a latest annual report released by the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission, threatening our central government to say that it's interfering our affairs in Hong Kong. I know it's a report that you may not be very familiar, but how would you respond to such a statement that actually some Hong Kong people, some friends have said to me, they felt that the hands of the central government is being felt a lot more than before.
Well,
how would you say to that?
First of all, I think the credibility of the foreign media is waning, is dropping. Just look at the report they are doing on Gaza. And there's a lot of, okay, I shan't go into detail, but I think it's very well known around the world that they are not reporting faithfully or truly on what exactly is happening, the tragedy that's happening there.
But would you say that the Chinese hand is being felt a lot more than before?
Okay, no, I'm trying to explain to you, first of all, the credibility of the Western media is not as effective as before. Secondly, when we talk about whether China is interfering in the affairs of Hong Kong, because I was involved in the drafting of the Basic Law, I can tell you truly that everything is working according to the book. And when the Basic Law says we have to enact laws to protect our national security, such as in Article 23, then it's our duty, not our right, our duty to do it. And in respect of our economic policies, we know very well we have to develop alongside the GBA, and unless we're able to merge to some extent into the economic, cultural, social activities of the GBA, Hong Kong cannot survive on its own. It's a very small place with a reducing population. And throughout the years, we've been trying to say, look, you know, our enterprises, our industry, it's sort of not diversified enough. We have only the third sector economy. But with the GBA and the sort of complete supply chain I was talking about, we got everything. All we have to do is to be a super connector. So it will help Hong Kong a great deal. That means we got a complete picture, everything that we need to develop the economy. As far as the sort of Western media or even Western politicians saying that they have to sanction judges or government officials in Hong Kong, I think it is out of their own motives. Perhaps they would have to get votes for their re-election. Perhaps that's the best way to cover up what they are not able to do domestically to make their own people happier. So as far as I'm concerned, so far, the smear campaign has been going on ever since, 2019?
Yes.
Sanction has been going on, but we're still thriving, and China is still positive on its GDP, and so is Hong Kong.
Right. Maria, thank you for explaining that in great detail. But I mean, when you talk about the Western media or the Western rhetoric, and this main campaign they're doing is right after the national security legislation has been enacted. And that's exactly what has helped Hong Kong to restore to order. But all these smear campaign, irrespective of what we're trying to tell them through our media, is still hurting our international standings and connections. So how will you think, how should our economy or businesses should overcome such attacks? I mean, what can we do?
I think, first of all, this is something I've been thinking. You know, we have a lot of external trade offices around the world. We have 14, 4 in North America, 4 in Europe, 5 in Asia, 1 in the Middle East. As I said, if the Five Eyes don't look at us favorably, so what? That's the rest of the world. So we can go along the BRI, we can go to Middle East, Eastern Europe, Africa, South America, and that's what China has been doing. So what Hong Kong should do is to follow. Where China goes to do business or build infrastructures, we make sure that our service sectors get involved and be part of the team. And that is our future.
Right, Maria, before we go to the break, I'll ask you a very quick question. Have Hong Kong been in such difficulty before, in your memory?
I think in the 70s, in the 60s and 70s, when they have the Cultural Revolution in China, the fear is much bigger.
Right.
And during the joint negotiation, the negotiation on the joint declaration...
In the 80s, yes.
In the 80s, 82, 84, there's been a flood of immigrants going from Hong Kong to the Five Eyes, for example. But every time we survive, we come back.
We are better,
and we get stronger.
Right. Right, Maria, let's take a break now. And viewers, do stay with us. We will be right back. Thank you for staying with us. We have Miss Maria Tam on the show this evening, and she has been talking to us about Hong Kong long-term development prospects. So Maria, on the first half, I always remember what you said in the first bit, saying that it's for the people who are prepared, then we will be able to fight these uphill challenges. And also you said that Hong Kong people should look for other opportunities, not just the Five Eyes, because there are many markets are waiting for us. So to do that, we must know our strengths and weaknesses. And as you know, rule of law is something that I'm sure you're going to talk about. Before you go on, how, Hong Kong, we have this premium position of having the one country, two systems. Do you think Hong Kong has taken full advantage of this? This is my first question for you.
Taking advantage of one country, two system, the answer is no. What happens that, in my view, ever since the reunification, we've kind of stuck to the idea that the original capitalistic system has no flaw, which is okay, because when we wrote the Basic Law, Article 5 says Hong Kong will practice capitalistic systems and lifestyle. We didn't say Hong Kong will have to practice a policy that is so laissez-faire to fit into a capitalistic system, because every capitalistic country's got its own way of doing it. So one of the things that I think the present government, the Lee administration, has done very well is that Mr. Paul Chan came out and said, we are not going to practice laissez-faire. The government is coming in, firstly, I hope, and I think they're doing it, to unleash the private sector's power to work with government policy. This comes to housing, employment, immigration, and other things, And the other thing that I think the Lee administration is doing well is that it's got no vested interest. So if they need to talk to trade union and say we have to import labor, we have to import talent, they talk to the doctors and say we need more doctors, which can help to change the landscape of our medical services, or they talk to the big property investment companies and say, or developers and say, look, we're doing public housing, you have to join in as well. He was doing it, and it's in the policy speech, which is something I find gratifying to see. And the Lee administration, I think, is purpose-driven. When they see that, for example, there's problem in the districts, maybe it's hygiene problem, maybe it's old age service, maybe it is schools that's been left vacant and not being properly used. You can see from the policy speech.
Right.
He's looking at it and he's proposing answers.
Right.
It will take time for all this to bear fruit.
Right.
And as far as what I was saying about not having to rely on the Five Eyes concerned, it's gone to the Middle East.
Yes.
It's gone all around
Yes.
Southeast Asia. And I think Paul Chan also lead a group, and even political parties go and visit
Right.
these places.
Right.
So I think we've changed our paradigm.
Right. So, Maria, what you're saying that we hadn't taken full advantage of one country, two systems before.
Yes.
But now, looks like the new administration, maybe things you have no choice, but this is the only way out. Looks like we're doing the right thing, at least from your view. So before this another view, I'm sure the viewer is going to ask you. So far, you have told them about the Western rhetoric, why they are trying to smear us, and how we can tackle it. Another thing that we often hear is saying that the report that I just mentioned earlier, they say that it transformed Hong Kong from an international city into another Chinese city. I mean, are the two characteristics mutually exclusive? Is there anything wrong of being a Chinese city? It looks like being a Chinese city is wrong. You have to be an international city. So how will you answer that?
Well, I think a very clear distinction is that we practice common law here. And we have 11 eminent judges from other common law jurisdictions on our bench. And at least 6 of them had come out and say they believe there is judicial independence in the Court of Final Appeal, and they are happy to stay. In terms of rule of law, I think we rank 23rd amongst 142. US is 26. For absence of corruption, we rank number 9 globally. And for rule and order, we rank number 6 globally. We are the freest economy for trade. So there are lots of things going for us. And we have 6 universities who are in the top 100 and 4 in the top 20, I think, in Asia. So as far as I can see, these are all the factors that will lead us to making use of the development of China,
Right.
and giving assurance to investors from abroad, not only from the Five Eyes.
Right. So Maria, so can I deduce from what you have said that Hong Kong should be proud to be a Chinese city and also being international as well?
We are a Chinese city and an international city. If you ask me to put it in a capsule, we should have Chinese value, but world or Western skills.
Right.
Chinese value is no man's an island. You know, it's a traditional Chinese value that the family is very important, and you love your country, and you have to protect your country. I mean, the other two, the last two, it's universal.
Right.
And then Western skills that you have to improve on your language skill, and not only English. You have to understand what's happening to the rest of the world, their culture, their politics, their economic strong points, their needs, and be able to communicate with them.
Right.
So that is Hong Kong.
Right. Maria, you also mentioned the word GBA. This is often mentioned in the show. But I'm sure the viewers will tell you, I mean, we all agree the concept of GBA right next to us with 80 million population, how can you not go over there? But now we're losing, I mean, our actual economy to Shenzhen right at the moment, because it looks like they're doing better in terms of service or more cost value for money. So how shall we face these GBA opportunities? I mean, are we going to see faced with downturn first because of GBA right next door?
I cannot imagine someone who is born in San Francisco who says, I'll never work in New York. He may get married in New York and stay there. So Hong Kong should not look at itself as a territory south of the Shenzhen River. We're part of China. We should go in there and we should let them come to Hong Kong. I think there's going to be a change in population profile,
right,
with a skilled, maybe value-added industries coming to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong's old folks, maybe, going into China. This is going to happen. There's going to be a domestic circle of talents exchanging between Hong Kong and GBA, and an external circle
Right.
of talents coming from abroad into Hong Kong and then into China.
Right. And you know, we also have lost up to a minimum of like 200,000 people that have left Hong Kong. And as you said, there may be new immigrants coming in. The government is doing a very good job to draw talents. Do you see this as an opportunity, or do you see, will there be any cultural friction when you have more people coming to a place? I mean, I heard that there are over 150,000 people coming in. Is no small number. Will that cause friction within the community?
Well, I think that depends on how we treat them.
Right.
If you look at the definition of permanent right of abode residence in Hong Kong, it doesn't say that you have to be born here and you're the only type. As long as you're here in Hong Kong, enter legally and stay 7 years, then you can become a permanent resident. So if you're a permanent resident of Hong Kong, then you will abide by the Hong Kong laws. There's an East meet West culture here, or there may be a mainland meet Hong Kong culture here. Yes. I see a lot of intermarriages, and it works. So I think if you stop thinking that we are just south of the Shenzhen River, and you realize it's such a vast expanse of land and opportunity just north of it, then I think there should be enough young people with courage and skill to survive the challenge.
We've got time for 2 more questions for you. At the recent Fight Crime Conference, the Chief Executive reiterated the need for the enactment of Article 23 of Basic Law. And we said earlier, I mean, the Western media, we shouldn't be trusting all the time. We should look at it with a very critical point of view that they often put what we call negative spin on this. So this is going to happen. I mean, it's been said by Chris Tang as well. So how can we making sure when this should be done while the international confidence to the city is also there?
Now, international confidence, you're talking about Five Eyes, or just the whole world?
The whole world.
The whole world. Well, as far as the whole world is concerned, I think we are reaching out, so that takes a bit of time. As far as the Five Eyes is concerned, even if you never enact any NSL,
True.
If it is to their interest, they'll attack you, they smear you, they'll sanction you.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that we don't worry about it. It's a concern. So we have to improve on our communication skills and channels. At the same time, the world rankings are very important. And at the same time, we just open the door, let people come in and look at the truth.
Right, Maria? I mean, I'm afraid that's all the time we have. And thank you, Maria, for your perspective on Hong Kong's long-term development prospects. Viewers, I would like to pay a tribute to Miss Maria Tam, whose dedication and contribution over the last 40-odd years have helped shape Hong Kong's history and chart our future.
Thank you,
We too
Eugene.
can play our part by embodying the Lion Rock spirit to ensure a bright future for our home, Hong Kong. As the song we all know says, never give up and create miracles from the impossible. Have a good evening and see you next week.
Thank you.